Hi, welcome to today's slow flow. For today's practice, you're gonna want just a block or thick sturdy book. Shoebox is just fine. And we're actually gonna use it to get started in a hero's pose. Now, hero's pose, you can take a few different options. Some bodies you can sit right here in the heels. This feels great. It's nice compression for the calves. If that doesn't work in your knees, you can always take a block at a height that feels good, setting the block between your heels to lift your seat, giving yourself a little openness in the quads, so you might feel some sensation here. But if this hurts your knees, then take an easy seat, just bringing your feet in front of you. So settle into whatever seat you have chosen. Eyes soft or closed. Finding a bit of openness in the chest. So you might squeeze your shoulder blades together just a bit. Maybe opposite hand to opposite elbow behind the back feels good. Or you can even interlace your fingers, pressing your knuckles towards the floor. Again, no right or wrong. Goal here is a bit of openness in the chest, but we're not forcing anything yet. Just about 3 rounds of breath, wherever you choose to be. When that's complete for you, hands can come back to heart center from wherever they were. Inhale, open your arms to cactus, heart pulls forward. Exhale, palms press together around the spine. Inhale, open, heart lifts. Exhale, palms press round the spine. Taking our cat series here, that spine mobility from the seated position. Now, if you'd like to add in a bit of shoulder mobility as well, you can interlace your hands, palms flip up towards the ceiling. On inhales, hands fall back. On exhales, palms press forward. Again, no version's better than the other. This is just incorporating the shoulders a bit, so if that feels good, add it in. If it doesn't, don't. One more round from wherever you are. And when that's complete, come back to center, spine is neutral. Walk your hands forward just to release that block. And from your tabletop, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Starting here with some knee circles. Left knee hovers off the mat. Then left knee up towards the wrist and circle it back. Nice and slow here. The goal is not a fast circle, but making that circle as big as is available in your hip. My outer hips are feeling a little tight today. You can switch directions here. Pause next time your left knee comes to hover above the floor. Then inhale, open that knee for fire hydrant. Exhale, hover it back down. Twice more, inhale to open. Exhale, hover. Inhale, open, pause here. Exhale, extend that foot long. Toes plant off the mat. Walk your hands to the other side of the mat. Coming to a modified side plank. Pressing your hips towards the sky. Inhale, that left arm can reach overhead. Side stretch through the whole body, almost like you're a rainbow shape here. Give yourself a moment and then make your way back to a tabletop position. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Adding in those knee circles on the other side. Right knee comes to hover and then pull it up towards the wrist and round behind you. Again, just about 2 or 3 circles going this first direction, nice and slow. Then switch directions here. Taking your time. Next time that right knee hovers, pause there. Inhale, open for fire hydrant. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale to open. Exhale, lower. Inhale, open, pause here. Extend, foot off the mat, toes point forward. Walk your hands to the other side of the mat. Coming to modified side plank on the other side. Press into your right foot. It's part of your base here. Then right arm can reach overhead, finding that little rainbow shape. Feeling strong, pressing through the palm, the knee, the foot. Next breath, make your way back to tabletop. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. If your toes aren't already tucked, tuck them here. And then begin to shift your weight back just as far as works for you. You might keep some weight in your hands. Maybe you come all the way to planters, seated on the heels. Breathe in. Breathe out. Next breath, walk your hands forward. Lift your hips for down dog. We're gonna pulse between these two shapes, letting yourself move nice and slow. On one breath, bring your knees to the mat, hips back towards the heels for planters. Embrace this shape for just one breath. And then shift your weight forward, peel the hips up for down dog. Give yourself a few rounds at your own pace. This can be a really nice way to incorporate plantar stretch if you, like me, find it to feel pretty intense. Adding in that mobility here can be nice. It's also a great way to help the hamstrings begin to warm up, finding that length in downward facing dog. Again, taking your time here. I'm going to take one more round and then pause in downward facing dog. Can pause when you get there and you feel ready. Maybe pedaling out your dog here a bit or shifting your hips side to side. On an inhale, bend your knees and look forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, find a half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, hang heavy. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, root through your feet, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, arms reach up, you can look up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Taking some time here, opposite hand to opposite elbow. Bringing a nice generous bend to the knees here. Let yourself sway side to side, helping that low back to release. Head hangs heavy. Maybe you softly shake the head yes or no, helping the neck to release. Next breath, release any bind or grip you have. Inhale, find a half lift, hands resting on your thighs, crown of the head points forward. Press into the blade edges of your feet, the heels, and that big toe mound. Nice strong base. Inhale, open your arms for cactus, squeezing the shoulder blades. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, open for cactus. Exhale, squeeze. Come back to center. Inhale, open to cactus. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, fold forward. Full breath here. Next breath, root through your feet. Reach up towards the sky. Hands back to heart center. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, you can reach up, maybe look up. Exhale, forward fold, head hangs heavy. Inhale, find half lift. You can add cactus arms if that feels good. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank position. Inhale and plank on toes or knees. Exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Untuck your toes, take your fingertips wide off the mat. Inhale, lift your heart for cobra just as high as feels good. Exhale, lower right shoulder to the mat. Maybe it taps. Inhale, lift back to center. Exhale, lower left shoulder down. Inhale, lift back to center. Exhale, nose or forehead to the mat, hands under shoulders. Inhale, press up to plank on toes or knees. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Handful of breaths here. You can hold down dog or take a tabletop, maybe some traditional cat-cows or child's pose. Whatever feels right for you. Give yourself a few breaths right there. If you're not already in down dog, using your next round of breath to make your way there. Inhale, sweep right leg to the sky. Exhale, step it between your hands, warrior two, back foot parallel to the short edge of the mat. Arms at shoulder height. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, straighten that front leg, hips reach back, fingertips forward, triangle. Right hand can reach towards the floor, left arm up towards the sky. You can always bring a block here if it feels good to have something to rest your hand on. Goal here is keeping that chest lifted and open. Left hand comes to your low back, back of the hand pressing in towards that right hip. Kind of like a little yogi chicken wing. Here for a full breath. When you're ready, release, return to warrior two. Cartwheel your hands to the mat, low lunge. Step back to downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, sweep left leg to the sky. Exhale, step it between your hands. Warrior two on the other side. Back foot parallel to the short edge of the mat. Full breath here as you softly gaze over those front fingertips. Press into both of the feet equally. Next, inhale, straighten that front leg. Triangle, hips reach back, fingertips forward. Then left arm towards the floor, right arm towards the sky. Again, keeping that chest lifted. Sometimes it can be tempting to want to reach the floor, finding that full extension. Goal here is a lifted and open chest. Right hand comes to low back. Yogi chicken wing, gently guiding that right shoulder open. Feeling the base supported by both feet here. One more moment. Then bend into your front knee, return to warrior two. Cartwheel your hands to the mat, low lunge. Step back to downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, bend your knees and look forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, find a half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, hang heavy. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, root through your feet, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up, you can look up. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands, step back to plank position. Full breath in plank here, press heels away from you. Press your hands into the mat as shoulder blades slide away from each other. Next breath, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep right leg to the sky. Exhale, warrior two, right foot between the hands, back foot parallel to the short edge of the mat. Find your base here first. Inhale, right palm flips up, reach forward. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, extended side angle, left arm overhead. Exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, right palm flips up, reach forward. Pause here. We're not going where we typically do. Bring that right forearm to the thigh, so it's just tapping, then left arm overhead. Strong side angle here, using the core to keep you lifted. Left hand comes to low back. Can pause right here. This is a lovely spot to pause. Or maybe right hand comes under the thigh, reaching for the fingertips. Bound side angle. Goal here is an open chest. So if you have to really scrunch down to get that grip, release it, keeping the chest nice and open. Here for just one more moment. When you're ready, release arms back to shoulder height. Cartwheel the hands to the mat, low lunge. Step back to plank position. Full breath in plank. Strong body as you press away from the mat. Crown of the head points forward. Inhale, hips up and back, down dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, sweep left leg to the sky. Exhale, step it between your hands. Warrior two, other side. Back foot parallel to the short edge of the mat. Nice strong base here. Inhale, left palm flips up, reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, extended side angle, right arm overhead. Exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, left palm flips up, engaging that core, pause. Left forearm to the thigh, right arm overhead. So we're still nice and light here, chest is open. Right hand comes to that low back. You can pause right here, this is lovely. Or left hand comes under the thigh, finding that clasp. Again, no right or wrong. Pausing wherever your chest feels most open. Here for another round of breath. And when you're ready, release arms back to shoulder height. Cartwheel your hands to the mat. Step back to plank position. Inhale in plank. Exhale for the mat or chaturanga. Inhale for cobra or up dog. Exhale, we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, find a half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, hang heavy. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, root through your feet, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Give yourself a few breaths here. Also setting up for Malasana. So if you prefer a block like I do, I bring that behind my heels at the height that feels good for me. If you're unsure, set it up. You can always release it. Feet come nice and wide. If you're in the typical orientation on your mat, heels might be on the mat, toes splayed off, maybe even wider. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, begin to sink your hips down, palms towards heart center. Pausing when you find your version of Malasana, yogi squat. Same theme here, keeping that chest open, heart is lifted. We'll add in some twists here. Left arm reaches towards the floor. Right arm can open towards the sky. Give yourself a full breath. Keeping weight towards the blade edges of those feet. Then come back to center. Other side, right arm reaches towards the floor, left arm towards the sky. Weight towards the blade edges of the feet, helping to keep those knees open. Then draw yourself back to center. Hands can plant in front of you. Begin to lift your hips. Forward fold, turn your toes so they point forward. Then you can heel toe your feet back to hip distance. Inhale, find a half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, hang heavy. And begin just to sink your hips towards your heels. Eventually, when you find your edge, coming to a seated position. Taking that block with you just within reaching distance. Lower down to your back body. Feeling your soles of the feet press into the mat. Upper body supported by the floor beneath you. Taking your block with you. Inhale, lift your hips just high enough to slide that block under your sacrum. So that point where it feels like it's part of your balancing. Adjusting however you need to so we're not finding any pinching or pain. Allow yourself to settle in for a few rounds of breath here. Hands can rest where they feel comfortable. Legs can rest where they feel comfortable. For me, that means knees stay bent, heels towards my glutes. In some bodies, you might walk your feet away from you, lengthening the legs. Find whichever version feels best for you today. And give yourself a handful of breaths there. You can stay right where you are, or begin to pull your knees in towards your chest for supported waterfall, finding that balancing point, then extending soles of the feet up towards the sky. You might stay here in stillness, or you can roll out your ankles here, pointing and flexing the toes. Again, just a handful of breaths. I'll guide us here, but you're welcome to come out whenever it feels right for you. If you're still in that supported waterfall, begin to bend the knees, lowering the heels down to the mat. Lift your hips just high enough to slide that block out from under your sacrum. And then lower hips back down to the mat. Knees hug softly into the chest here. Right knee stays hugged in. Extend your left leg long. Find some gentle pressure, right knee towards the right shoulder. Then guide your right knee over to the left side of the body. Finding your twist here. Right arm can come out to a T or a cactus shape. Give yourself a few breaths right here. Next, inhale, come back to center nice and slow. Both knees hug in towards the chest. This time, right leg extends long, left knee hugs towards that left shoulder. And guide your left knee over to the other side of the body. Left arm out to a T or a cactus shape. Few rounds of breath here, softening into the twist as much as works for you. Gently make your way back towards center. Both knees hug into the chest. Tight little yogi hug here. Everything squeezes together. Maybe the face even scrunches. And then release into Shavasana. Legs extend long. Arms hang heavy. Eyes soft or closed. Just breathe here. body can remain still. If it feels good and is available to you today, you are more than welcome to stay in this place of rest. If it's time to close out your practice, start deepening your breaths and adding in whatever gentle movement feels good to wake up your body. Allowing yourself to move at your own pace and take your time. When you're ready, rolling over to one side, just to gently press yourself up to a seated position. Eyes can stay soft or closed. Feeling into some gratitude for showing up today and honoring your body with movement and with rest. We'll close with a collective breath. Exhale to prepare. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, draw your hands back to heart center. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Thanks for being part of this rad community, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.